Welcome everybody to FDA Grand Rounds. Today's topic is adopting large language models for regulatory review. The learning objectives for today are: number one, discuss the context of use and its importance in performance evaluation of AI application. And number two, discuss the importance of quality data in the adoption of LLMs in regulatory review. Today's speaker, Dr. Xu, has no conflicts of interest to disclose. A little bit about Dr. Xu. He is the branch chief of Research to Review and Return, or R2R, at the Division of Bioinformatics and Biostatistics within FDA's National Center for Toxicological Research, commonly known as NCTR. He's been leading a community-wide effort to assess the analytical performance of oncology panel sequencing technologies and develop best practice guidelines. He's been developing and adopting natural language processing methods for regulatory document review, and he's been developing image analysis algorithms for digital pathology and food contamination detection. We are thrilled to have Dr. Xu with us today. There's been great interest in this presentation. I see we have 300 plus attendees internally, and again, this will be made available to the public after we are able to get the recording situated. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Xu. Thank you so much, Dr. Xu, for agreeing to do this today.
Good morning, good afternoon. And Rakesh, thank you for the introduction, everyone, and thank you for joining the talk. And I list my affiliation and importantly, my email here, and please reach out to us for discussion, demo, or collaboration. Okay. Standard disclaimer. And so what I'm doing is part of our large AI program, AI for Talks, and is established by my Division Director, Dr. Weda Tong, and we aim to apply the most advanced AI method and to support FDA's regulatory science and strengthen the safety review of those products under FDA regulation. So we have 5 initiatives under it, and today's presentation is focused on bird talks. And as you can see, this is a little bit older name. Is only 7 years. Bird is only 7 years old, but this is a testimony of how the field has evolved. The tremendous advancement has been made, and we aim to under this initiative, we developed the most advanced AI powered NLP method to facilitate the analysis of FDA documents and public literatures to support the review, and hope that we could improve the efficiency and the accuracy of information retrieval and safety assessment. So if you want to know more information about the overall AI for Talks program or some of the other initiatives, and visit our website, you can just type AI for Talks. So before I present some user case, and I would like to give a quick overview or introduction of large language model. This slide shows tremendous explosion and advancement over the last 8 years. And BERT, bidirectional embedding representation transformers, was put forth in 2018, and with about 300 million parameters. And then I just list one in each year. It's more like a representative. And then Google T5 with 11 billion parameters was in 2019, and then as also in then jumped to 2023, and you have GPT-4 and with over a trillion parameters. And that's the model that has the multi-modal capability, meaning that it not just processing text, but also be able to understand the image and the video. Um, and then 2014, and many of open source model come up as well, and including the Llama 3, and then some of them that they are smaller, but they can have comparable performance to those large language models like GPT-4, and then this year GPT 4.5 is out, and a lot of highlighting on the reasoning capability of the model, so like deep reasoning. So maybe that would be the year of deep reasoning models. Our approach mostly focuses on using uh, locally hosted large language models. And one is that there's availability, and then two is to the security consideration, so that we will not avoid, they will be able to avoid data being leaked, and also the flexibility. And we're aiming maybe in the future they'll be able to customize or even fine tune the model. And then this picture shows that all the rollout of different models over the years, and those that highlighted as they are publicly available, meaning that you can download the model, you can run it locally. Key concepts about large language model, and here I adopt someone's definitions like greater than 10 billion parameters. It's kind of arbitrary, and nowadays that tens of billion parameters seems that can get a pretty good performance. For the three major steps of building and application of large language model: the pre-training and fine-tuning and prompt engineering. The pre-training part involves a lot of computation resource, a lot of data, and mainly is kind of like to understand the language and the length to predict the next word in a sentence, and predict the next sentence and then the next paragraph. And this clearly is not something that we can do. And nowadays, that 90% of large language model will built by the industry. And then the fine-tuning part, and this is taking specific task-specific data set and for instruction tuning, and or utilize the human feedback for alignment tuning. It needs high quality domain specific data sets, and can utilize maybe tens GPU, or maybe one if the model is small enough. And we need SMU for preparing the data sets for feedback, and AI scientists for model fine tuning. That's something that maybe we can do it's something that we can attempt. And then prompt engineering is really applying the model, the subject matter experts and AI scientists working together to design and refine the prompts. So next slide then shows some advanced prompt engineering, and the regular prompts, including like zero shots or few shots learning. The shot here means example. You give the examples, and the model kind of understand your instruction, and then will be able to follow the example and give you answer. That is called in-context learning. And so the trend is that allow the model be able to accept larger and larger context windows. So maybe a few books can be handled as in-context learning. And then some advanced prompt engineering, like retrieval augmented generation. You have more information you can pass, and for the model to process. And a main example here is a chain of thoughts. So you in the prompt, and you show how the prompt in the examples, and how the question and is getting addressed. And there are many more different advanced prompts, and I list a reference here and a systematic survey of prompt engineering. And if you're interested, please take a look. So several misconceptions about large language models are listed here. Some people think that they are deterministic. You run them again and again, you give the same answer. That's clearly not true. And to the core, they are statistical models. And some people think large language models are only good at generation, and that's not true either. And because of that, the power they get and they could be used for processing, understanding the data, summarizing translation, and so they are very good. Some people think large language models are machines of information, like a database, and like a genie can answer the question with tremendous knowledge. That is not to a certain degree. It can answer your question, but in large is still considered as machines of processing information. Large language model have long-term memory and can learn from additional data and interaction. And because the context is long, and then you can put a lot of information there, and you can interact. You're thinking that the model would understand you and would be customized. And that is not true, because once the interaction is done and then you close that conversation trail, and it's just starting new, and it does not remember anything. Some people thinking that large language model can be controlled to avoid hallucination. That's a common problem. Large language model in the core are statistic and generative models, and they can always generate new things, and to be controlled without hallucination completely is may not be possible. But a lot of work has been doing and to reduce hallucination very much. Okay, with that overview and background, I will go into 4 user cases. And the first one is literature screening. This is in collaboration with multiple groups at FDA. Okay, literature screening is an important and key task in the review workflow, and you collect the information and you process those information, and so that to support the review. So there are 4 key steps. And first, you of course is initial query of the literature database. You get a lot of you want to be as loose as possible, so you retrieve a lot of abstract, and then you screen the abstract and filter out irrelevant abstract, and then for those you feel that relevant, you then pull out the full article and then further processing them, and then finally that you identify and extracting relevant information and try to put a summary report together. So those steps involved substantial manual effort, and altogether and may take days and weeks to complete. And we believe that AI has great potential, can step in and significantly accelerate and enhance the workflow. So why you thinking that you say that those are public information? Why you would still want to use locally hosted large language models. And we believe that sometimes this work may involve that some internal sensitive documents, and we want to that be able to input in the workflow and to process them as well. So we have done a research and used a benchmark data set and to show that indeed that the model can achieve very high sensitivity. That's important because we don't want miss relevant document. And then we also would be able to achieve the accessible specificity about 70%. That means that we could filter out 70% of the irrelevant abstract, and then that doing so that we improve the overall the efficiency by 3 times. So we then, with that confidence, we then build a platform. And so, so I'm going to show a few screenshots of the platform. And right now, is available internally for testing. And please contact us for demo and or maybe sign up account to experience. Okay, this example, and we will work with some collaborator in the Office of Cosmetic and Colors, and this to search for the literatures about the ADME and the PK information about Teflon. Okay, and so the search syntax and was put here. So we input the search syntax here, and then that would be able to search PubMed and then getting the results, and then the results were then processed by once we got the results, and we have the model and to screen them. And right now that we're using a Llama 3.1 8 billion model that will be able to give us a quicker screening results. And of course that we integrate them through API, so we could utilize other models as well, like Cloud 3.7. So that may be available in the future through Amazon Bedrock. And then, or maybe that in the future that we can connect to the outside models that is through API as well. And then in order to do the screen, and the user has to put a prompt here and what the criteria, how they want to screen the abstract. And the more information you put here, that would be help to get more specific results. So after screen, and the platform automatically calculate a relevance score and then ranking and then the default setting right now is 60%, and so those would consider relevant and be included for further review. And then those in this example that we have 45 scanned, and then 4 and about 10% is considered as positive. The user can adjust the threshold. So once it's scanned, and then they will be able to output that reason why the model consider is not relevant, and the user can go in, look at each one of them, and look at the results, and then the user can also output the results, including abstract, to Excel file for further reference. And also want to mention that user can have the link and go to the PubMed directly and pull out the article as well and add the abstract. Okay. So, and then we have the user login, and you can perform the multiple screen tasks, and then all result will be saved for future tracking. Okay. Um, if you have any question, and please put into the chat, and I will address the question later on. And if you have interest in to play with the system, and please reach out to me. And the second use case is we call Ask FDA Documents. This is in collaboration with some OTS and OGD. And so thinking this as a AI chatbot, and there are so much when you are doing a review and you have so much information that you want to put together, maybe that you want to uh, asking some public documents like guidance and drug labels and drug comments, or maybe that you want getting information from the submission or the review reports or meeting minutes. And this is like you upload those information, this chatbot would say, and trying to answer your question. Okay, and right now that we are working with the research team at Office of Computational Science and to the to deploy and then for testing. And we're also working with the Office of Medical uh, Policy in our application to process in the public comments. And with that specific application, we're adding an analysis dashboard as well. So here is the overall design and the workflow, maybe under the hood. And so they have the user and the chatbot application sitting in the middle, and then the large language model is behind. We have the vector database to store the information that in those documents that you uploaded. So first, the user sends the query to the chat box. The chat box turns the query into some embedding vectors, and then using the vectors to search the database that has been that has stored those uploaded documents, and then get many text chunks, and then this once get the chunk, and then the tool would generate prompts and then apply those prompts into those chunks and getting the answer. And then finally, the answer will aggregate it and by the application and go back to the user. So here, using the full documents related to the generic drug, there are some impurities in the generic drug and for review, and so we have to upload them, and so the user can then ask questions. And also I want to say is that this can be the files can be loaded, can be managed by the admin. That means that once it's loaded, we can renderize into different group of people and to be shared. And also that you could, then that means that you can collaborate with a group of people to expose the files and for common use. And here shows the example. And so what is the PDE oral exposure of cobalt calculated? How is that get calculated? And then so the model would looking at information, search for the information in those guidance and then pull out, and then you answer and says page 28 and this, and then this is actually is hyperlink, and you can click the link and go to the PDF file. Okay, use case number 3, and this is that recognize the AEs in the labeling, and then comparison different versions of labeling documents to track the AE changes. This is in collaboration with Office of Surveillance and Epidemiology. Why you want to track AEs in the labeling updates? The reasons is that pre-approved clinical trials may not reveal all the possible adverse reactions, and once they approve the drug and goes to the market and for more diverse population and a lot of use, and to be able to collect more adverse reactions, and then the labeling get updated to safeguard the use of the drug. So the research into the safety-related labeling change about the frequency and the timing and which section get involved is very important, and to inform the potential modification to review policies and guidelines. And we developed that tool, and in collaboration with OC, and they validate that tool, and they will publish that tool last year. So here I show some screenshots of the tool, and so we have two styles of visualization to show the difference, and the on top part, and we show the old version and the new version of the labeling side by side, and then the change is just a word and highlighted with different color of the font, and then the new the AEs were recognized by the tool using a BERT model underline, and then we highlighted here. And then another way to show the difference is just row by row, and then shows that old and the new, and of the different labeling. And then here is that the AEs were in the italic font. And now that we can also putting them in a summary and without the context was shown in the previous screen. And now that see here that you in the summary shows that the new labeling, and then the removed labeling, and the existing labeling, basically that they are in that section, and then without change. And user can click the link, and then would then go to the context. Okay, user case number 4. Here that we utilized large language model to detect the duplicate adverse reports. This is also in collaboration with OSC. I want to give you an overview of the post-market safety review workflow. And this post-marketing drug safety surveillance and research has a long workflow. We're confident that large language model has great potential to assist or automate several key steps. So I just present our work in literature screening as the first user case, and then also the second user case, in the third user case, recognizing AEs in drug labeling. So here involved in this workflow. In collaboration with OSC safety evaluators, and we are evaluating recognizing and extracting clinical concepts, and then report deduplication and accessibility prediction for individual report. We would like to start soon, together with OSC, the research on case series definition and causality assessment of individual safety reports. So, as you may know, causality assessment is extremely time-consuming and often requires in-depth knowledge of the reviews in medicine, pharmacology, and drug labeling documents. Prior work by OS are involved using classical machine learning models, demonstrating some feasibility, but improvement in performance is needed. And we hope that we will be able to have some exciting results to share in the near future. So with this overview, I will dive into this part that using large language model to detect duplicate first report. So also I want to emphasize here is that like the literature review, like that ask FDA documents and also the AE tracking, and we always have involved expert in the review. This is that we work with them to develop the data, for them to have the data set, and so that we could customize the tool, and then we could improve the performance, and but also that we involve them for them to review the results. Okay. This overall deduplication framework was mainly have 3 steps, and we developed that 3 steps and to maximize the efficiency. And let's say that you have a case series of about maybe 500 reports, and in order to compare whether any of them is a duplicate, you are doing pairwise comparison. That will be 500 times 500 divided by 2, how you look at it. And so that's 25,000, no, sorry, 250,000 pairs. That's a lot. So we have the filter step, and to extracting a lot of key information from it, and then quickly and identify a candidate for a specific test case. And then we run a decider to whether it's a duplicate. If it's not, it's end. If it's yes, and then we have one that called LLM validator with a longer prompt, and then those would then finally send to the reviewers for final adjudication. Okay, so I'm showing the decider step, and we have run some tests, and we have using a benchmarking set of 2,358 real duplication pairs. We ask the decider, and along with some negatives, and so now for that, and for each pair, we tested twice, like A versus B or B versus A, and in total we have that many tests, and we fine-tune many prompts, and finally that we settle down using this prompt and to do. And then as you can see, and in the prompt, we'll focus on some key information. We'll also provide some suggestion that if some term or phrase are very unique to the case, and then that means that the case is likely to be unique. Okay, so here's the results, and in summary, and for those 900 or so that unique cases, and over 90%, we will be able to recover or detect all duplicate cases, and about 8%, we were able to detect at least one duplicate, and then for less than 2%, the model failed to find the ground truth duplicates. Okay. And here's that shows that when we started and we use Llama 2, and then we have Llama 3 come up, and then we can show is that for older models, prompt engineering plays a vital role. And now that with the largest Llama 3 model, and seems that we could achieve a very good recall. And then we're hoping that future models will improved, will continue to improve the performance, and even with a smaller computing cost. Okay, so here's an example of the three steps. So the first one, we start with 494 total, and then so you're choosing one to compare the rest. And the filter and can run very fast and be able to limit the number to 144, and then the decider getting to 7, and then the validator further reduced to 2, and out of that 2, and the human adjudicator and says 1 is good. And then as a negative example, and then we show is that C had the decider and quickly says that there is no duplicate for that specific case. Okay, so as discussion, and I want to put that forward. And so we feel is that there are 5 major components in adopting a generative AI and for application. So first, you need infrastructure, and that we consider GPUs or maybe cloud servers that have that GPU computing power. And large language models are like the recipes that we don't invent them, and we just borrow and refine them. Or sometimes we don't even refine, we just adopting that using add to the prompt engineer and to apply it. And it's very important for the data set. We consider them, they are the ingredients for the chef, which are the AI scientists and data scientists working together with SMEs and to develop the data set, and then understand also the SMEs workflow and develop the prompt, and then the SMEs would then provide the feedback and then to evaluate the performance of the system. So as you can see, this is task specific, and we need the close collaboration to generate the data set. So data are so important and essential, and close collaboration. We want the data with reasoning process, and we want data with diversity, and that means that it's including the rare cases. It's not just the common ones, and we also want the data with assessment and annotation results. So, of course, collecting such data is not trivial, and it takes time, and we must build tools and to attract the SMEs and to help the SMEs in collecting sufficient task-specific data sets to power AI application at the agency. So here shows that the acknowledgement, and it is not just built by our team here, and it is in close collaboration with many people at the agency.